Sharing vintage jewels. Hi, I'm Dawn. This is Hudson Vintage. Today I'm going to be sharing the jewels that I used in the Chanel runway inspired video and tips and tricks on how to use it creatively and how to identify it. Hopefully showing it to you a little bit more in depth will help you to understand what to look for and how to identify good pieces when you see them. Also, some of these pieces I actually made myself, but you might be able to see the elements that I used and be inspired for your own projects. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like, please subscribe. Did you know that when you click like, it helps viewers like you to find this video? And that helps me. So click like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Thank you for watching. The first thing I'm going to show you are the necklaces, the long necklaces that I used to layer in that Chanel, pile it on way. And I made most of those, so I'll go get those. So this necklace, if you look at it up close, these are faux Baroque pearls. There you go. They're large. They're about 10 millimeter. And then I spaced them. I made this, and I spaced them with actual silver station beads so that it would help to support the weight of them, because these are old ones. They're very heavy. This came from a vintage 1950s necklace that was probably a 4-layer with that clasp, and it looked like this. But I decided that I wanted to change it and make it into something that was really, really long that you couldn't buy that long. And so this is how it came out, and it's just really simple. And when I made it, I had in mind that I would be layering it with crystals and other jewels. And you can wear this with a shortener. I don't have a shortener with me today, darn it. But the idea is to put the shortener through one side here and one side here, and then you can do it like that. Oh, they're nice and tangled. Ooh, don't they look pretty? Ooh, I love that. Okay, so this is where creativity comes in, because this really sparks my imagination. I like that it's sort of messy and crazy, and it's easy to take this loop here and these two here and just close it, and then you can play with it a little bit. So this, I recycled an old clasp, and this is old Swarovski crystal. Again, this was, oh God, I did this so long ago, I don't even remember. This was probably also one of those layered necklaces that was just like 4, like that. And I decided I wanted to make it long because I wanted to be able to use it the way I used the other one and wear them together. And you can do that, anytime you're thrifting or vintage hunting. These things are pretty easy to find, and you can get crimping beads and tiger tail at Joann's or online on Amazon. You know what? I will add a link below to the tiger tail and the crimping beads so you know exactly what I mean, and then you can help support me by clicking the links. Boy, it's tangling beautifully. I am really inspired to just wear it like this. Isn't that gorgeous? And it would be so easy to do. You just need a locking clasp of some kind, or a padlock, or a pearl shortener, or a safety pin. Even a safety pin would work. And I think messy is much more modern than when it's too neat. So I think that's a really cool look. Let me just show individually. These are actually 3 very long necklaces. So the pink one I made, and look at it. Look at how that light pops. Those are just faceted round pink crystals, most likely Swarovski. And I made it really, really long. Again, it's this long. This is like an oval pearl and a Swarovski bicone, and it's all put together on metal eye hooks. So it's not strung on string. This is 1960s and it's lovely. And this is what the clasp looks like. Here is a tip. Always look at the clasp and you will be able to date things better. That's it right there. And that's an old clasp. It's not a lobster claw clasp. So that's helpful. And then this one I did not make. And I got this probably years after the first one, but it's absolutely a variation on the oblong one. So keep in mind when you're collecting what you already have and how it would work with pieces that you may find out there, because if you find one piece that is in the same family and related to another piece, it'll make both pieces more valuable. And then look at this. This is just these two together. That's pretty great. Next, vintage 1950s Haskell belt. This is Miriam Haskell. All those pearls are hand wired on. The Haskell company actually employed women and everything was done by hand. They had an in-house designer. The house is known for its different eras of different designers. This is circa 1950s. I think there's a mark on it. Oh, it's so faded. It's right there. I don't know if you can tell. But what Haskell did was it designed a piece, and then these women would show up and they would get training on how to wire it together. And they would take sacks of the findings home and make them and then bring them back and get paid by the piece. So, imagine in the 1940s and 50s, women sitting on the subway going home with these sacks of these elements to make these jewels and then bringing them back. They would sit in their living rooms. I can just imagine them sitting in their living rooms with their cats and their doilies on their big overstuffed armchairs creating these pieces. And they're very collectible and they're valuable. And there's a lot of unsigned Haskell out there. So if you're really inspired, pick up the Haskell book and study what it looks like. And again, I think it's really helpful to be able to see everything in depth. Haskell never has wires showing, and it never has naked hooks. So if someone tells you that it's an unsigned Haskell and it's a naked hook, or there are wires obviously showing, it's not a Haskell. I also have these earrings. These are some of my favorite earrings. These were called Montes. These flat-topped kind of rhinestone. There we go. It's in the shape of a pansy. And then if you look in the back, take a good look. That's what the back of a Haskell looks like. There is nothing swedged. Everything is smooth. It's 2 layers, so you don't see any wires. And it's also something called Russian gold. And they actually developed Russian gold so that it would reflect well without glare. I will show a better close-up, but that's what that looks like. And these came from the collection of Eleanor Moss. I got these from the family. And Eleanor Moss was the wife of the president of Haskell. Okay, this is a real Chanel piece. I love this, and I actually use this to see, which is very handy. This is actually very cocoa. I did not have the original chain for it. This is the pendant. And here's what the front looks like. Here's what the back looks like. And then this is a circa 1970s gold-plated, good old Rhode Island Monet curb link chain. If you can see that, try doing this yourself. This is really good. See how it's just looped through the top with the actual chain? And then it's this very cool kind of chunky look. Very different, very timeless. And there's that. Now let's do the belts. Okay, so I used 2 belts in that video. I used this one, which is vintage Vogue jewelry. And you can also wear it as a necklace. And it has the rhinestone on the hang thing. These are gorgeous rhinestones. This is circa 1960s. And obviously it's that Maltese cross shape, so it was very Chanel inspired at the time. And it's one of my prized possessions, as is this. This, hold on. This is a Juliana belt. And this is what the buckle looks like up close. And if you want to recognize Juliana, it's all open back. Everything is smooth. Right? It has the kind of soldering, connecting everything. It's like that on the entire belt in the back. That's the other end. And look at the detailing of those little curly Q hearts. That's a known Juliana form, right? And then the fun, creative tip and trick is actually what you saw in the Chanel video, and that's that you can wear it like this, which is also, as it turns out, very Chanel. You know, how many times have you seen a Chanel belt as a necklace in your life? But I like this because it's flat looking. Right along. This is a 1940s air climber. And here, I'll show you the back. Okay, so that's what the back looks like. So you can see with that it would climb your ear. This is that Levere ear lift that I told you about in that first jewelry video. I can't live without these. See that little thing there? That makes everything stand up. It's fantastic. There's a left and a right. And that goes up like that. And this is really excellent quality. See how everything is individually articulated. And it's all smooth. And that's a very fun look. Okay, I have a mix of old and new here. This is old Regency jewel earrings. These were also designed to be ear climbers. See where the back is? So that it kind of goes up. And I put this little plastic thing on the back. This makes them very comfortable. I'll also link that below. It's really inexpensive. It's like $10 for, 30 of them or something. But it makes it so that you can wear those are cool. These are deco. These are from the late 30s, early 40s. Regency Jewels Incorporated in 1940, but it started in 1937. So there's some pieces that were pre-company. This is a nice Swarovski chain that I got at TJ Maxx. And when I saw it, I knew, because Swarovski has been around forever. Swarovski's been around for more than 125 years, I think. And, the quality has never been diminished. It's Austrian crystal. Can you see the back? Look how beautiful that is. So that I picked up. This is a once-in-a-lifetime find. This is a long Monet chain. Wait until you see how long this is. That's how long it is. And it's a long gold curb-link chain. And if you ever see one of these, you must buy it. They're valuable. They're worth a lot of money. Look, there's the signature. Yes. See, that says Monet. This is good for just the 1970s. Look how that's just totally transformed this turtleneck. I should mention the ribbon. I don't want that to go unnoticed. This is just some nice ribbon, actual fabric ribbon. Don't forget about ribbon. You can use pins on it. There's a lot you can do. And then finally, I have this pair of earrings from H&M. These were about $5. Those are great. And then I have two necklaces This is knitted gold thread and faux pearl. This is 1960s Italian tourist trade, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. This is absolutely not valuable, but it is one of my prized pieces in my collection. Look at how pretty it is. Look at it. It's so light and beautiful and lovely in summer, and you can layer it and add things to it and shorten it and knot it, and it's just beautiful. And then this is real onyx and pearl and 14 karat gold. So that's a tip for you. This is something also that Coco Chanel did all the time. This is just this little, not precious little, something that was made for tourists in Italy 50 years ago. And then this is actual gemstone. And look how pretty they look together. So don't be afraid to try things and mix your precious with your fake. Chanel used to call it the real fake, the real fakes. I think she'd laugh if she knew about the knockoffs. Everybody needs a tiara. So 1940s, still has the original combs. And today's equivalent, the headband. I've actually had this forever. This is old enough to be vintage, but they're back, and this is a jeweled metal headband. I probably got this in Express like 20 years ago, but it's got the little pearls that are actually set into prongs, stone set, so kind of nice. And I think that's everything. Hopefully you got to see some pretty pieces and you got a good look at what they look like on the underside, as well as the part that is always shown, and you'll be able to spot a good piece when you see it out in the wild. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, don't forget to click like, subscribe, ring the bell. Build them up in a way that I never would have. So learn from my mistake, a cautionary tale. Okay, so I recommend not bunching them all up together like that. Sharing vintage sharing